Welcome to Study Session 6, The Revolutionary War and Independence. Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence was primarily a list of grievances against the king, but the opening paragraphs amounted to a Republican manifesto. The preamble declared that all men are created equal and that they possess natural rights that include liberty, life, and the pursuit of happiness. Perhaps most important, the declaration insisted that governments drive their powers only by consent of the governed. Protest against British colonial rule had been transformed into a Republican revolution. Declaration of Independence. Meanwhile, in 1776, as the war continued, the idea of declaring the independence of the American colonies became a common sense. In January of that year, Thomas Paine, a radical political theorist, published a 50-page pamphlet in which he attacked the idea of a hereditary monarchy, declaring that one honest man was worth more to society than all the crown ruffians that ever lived. He presented the alternative to monarchy, which was liberty and happiness in a self-sufficient independent republic. About 100,000 copies of the book were sold throughout the colony. Thus, common sense helped to crystallize a decision for separation and independence. However, there remained a major task of getting all the colonies to approve a formal declaration of independence. On June 7, 1776, Richard Henry Lee introduced a resolution in the Second Continental Congress declaring that these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states. Immediately, a committee headed by Thomas Jefferson, who appointed to draft a document for approval by the Congress. This document, called the Declaration of Independence, adopted July 1st, 1776 as the date of the birth of a new nation. The declaration relied on French and English Enlightenment political philosophy. But one influence in particular stands out, and that was John Locke's second treatise on government, which took conception of the traditional rights of Englishmen and universalized them into the natural rights of all mankind. In fact, the Declaration's opening passage echoes John Locke's social contract and theory of government. The Revolutionary War. The British hired about 30,000 German mercenaries to help put down the Americans, and that to convince some Americans that there could be no reconciliation. In 1776, the prospect of American victory seemed small. Britain had a population more than 3 times that of the colonies, and the British army was large, well-trained and experienced. The Americans, on the other hand, had undisciplined militia and only the beginnings of a regular army or even a government. But Americans had powerful advantage that in the end were decisive. They fought on their own territory, and in order to win, they did not have to defeat the British, but only to convince the British that the colonists could not be defeated. The British fought in a huge hostile territory. They could occupy the cities and control the land on which their army stood, but they could not subdue the American colonists. 2 decisive battles of the war, Saratoga and Yorktown, are cases in point. At Saratoga, the New York, a British army descending on the Hudson Valley from Canada outran its supply lines, became tangled in the wilderness, and was surrounded by Americans. The Americans defeated a British detachment that was for gain for food near Bennington, Vermont, then attacked the main body of the British army at Saratoga. The British surrounded an army of about 5,800. Franco-American Alliance. In France, enthusiasm for the American cause was very high. The French intellectual world was at this time struggling against feudalism and privilege. However, the crown lent its support to the American colonies for geopolitical rather than ideological reasons. The French government had been eager to revenge against Britain ever since her defeat in 1763. France began to provide aid to the colonists in May 1776 when it sent 14 ships with war supplies to America. In fact, most of the gunpowder used by the American army came from France. After Britain's defeat, France became very happy because she saw this defeat as an opportunity to weaken its enemy and restore the balance of power that had been upset by the 7 Years' War. On February 6, 1778, the American colonies signed a treaty of amity and commerce with France, in which France recognized the United States of America as a sovereign nation and offered trade concessions. They also signed a treaty of alliance which stipulated that if France entered the war, neither France nor USA would lay down its arms until the United States had won their independence. Effects of the alliance. The Franco-American Alliance soon broadened the conflict. In June 1778, British ships opened fire on French ships and the two countries went to war. In 1779, Spain opened to retrieve her territories taken by British during the 7 Years' War, entered the war on the side of France, but made it clear to the Americans that she was not fighting for them. In 1780, Britain declared war on the Dutch because they refused to stop trading with the Americans. The combination of these European powers became a greater threat to Britain than the American colonies. The Revolution, winners and losers. Colonial elites, large landholders and plantation masters benefited most from American independence. They continued to rule at home without outside interference. Below them, property holding white men who became full citizens of the American Republic beyond the life, liberty, and property for which they had fought. White women remained excluded from the public life, as did most white men without property. But the Americans, for whom the legacy of revolution proved disastrous or at best ambiguous, were Native American and African American slaves. In 1760, the British defeated the French in North America, and Native Americans lost the French alliance that had helped protect and strengthen them for 150 years. In revolution, they tended to side with the British or to remain neutral, knowing that an independent republic of land, hungry farmers posed a serious threat. The Sixth Iroquois nation divided on this question. splitting a powerful confederacy that had lasted more than 200 years. When some Iroquois raided colonial settlements, America responded by invading and destroying the whole Iroquois homeland in 1779. Further south, the Cherokee people sided with the British and lost heavily. Up and down the frontier, Native Americans and backcountry militia kept up unsettling and sporadic fighting throughout the war. After the British ceded territory on both sides of the Appalachians to the Americans in 1783, Native Americans who had not been defeated ignored maps drawn by whites and continued to fight through the 1790s. Native American military power east of the Mississippi was not broken until 1815. The key to that defeat was the fact that the independent American Republic was now expanding without opposition from either France or Britain. The results of the American Revolution for American slaves were ambiguous. Early in the war, the governor of Virginia, Lord Dunmore, had promised freedom to any Virginia slave who joined the British army. Thousands took the offer, and many more thousands seized wartime opportunity to disappear. On the other hand, thousands of black, primarily in the north, fought on the Patriot side. American independence also had different effects on blacks. On the other hand, it created an independent nation in which slaveholders wielded real power, something that slaves will remember in the 1830s when Parliament freed slaves in the British Caribbean without asking the planters. On the other hand, the ideology of natural rights that was fundamental to the revolution was difficult to contain. Many whites, particularly in the north, came to see emancipation of a logical outcome of the revolution. Vermont outlawed slavery in its constitution, and in the 1780s and 1790s, most northern states took steps to emancipate their slaves. Even Chesapeake planters flirted seriously with emancipation. Perhaps most important, slaves themselves absorbed revolutionary notion of natural rights. Following the revolution, slave protests and slave rebellions were drenched in the rhetoric of revolutionary republicanism. Thus, American independence was a short-term disaster for the slaves, but at the same time, it set in motion a chain of events that would destroy American slaves. Cost of the war. Casualty. The total loss of life resulting from the American Revolutionary War is unknown. As was typical in the war of the era, disease claimed more lives than battle. Historian Joseph Ellis suggests that Washington's decision to have his troops inoculated against the smallpox epidemics was one of his most important decisions. An estimated 25,000 Americans revolutionaries died during active military service. About 8,000 of these deaths were in battle. The other 17,000 deaths were from disease, including about 8,000 to 12,000 who died while prisoner of war, most in rioting prison ship in New York. The number of revolutionaries seriously wounded or disabled by the war has been estimated from 8,500 to 25,000. The total American military casualty figure was therefore as high as 50,000. About 171,000 seamen served for the British during the war. About 25 to 50% of them had been pressed into service. About 1,240 were killed in battle, while 18,500 died from disease. The greatest killer was scurvy, a disease known at the time to be easily preventable by issuing lemon juice to sailors. About 42,000 British sailors deserted during the war. Approximately 1,200 Germans were killed in action, and 6,354 died from illness or accidents. About 16,000 of the remaining German troops returned home, but roughly 5,500 remained in the United States after the war for various reasons, many eventually becoming American citizens. No reliable statistics exist for the number of casualties among other groups, including Loyalists, British regulars, Native Americans, French and Spanish troops, and civilians. This is the end of study session 6. Thank you for listening.